have heard, whether it be in Europe or Africa or Asia. People are familiar with this story and been following it. So they're tuning in here, including.
Yeah. I'm at Grace Church Road. I went to Waynesboro to bring this man down to this address. And now he's trying to force his way into a house. I'm afraid to move my vehicle. Just fighting in there.
It's inside the house now?
Yeah.
You have your doors locked?
It's open. I'm in a van.
You need to make yourself safe, okay? Even if you've got to drive away from there to get away from him and close that and lock that door. Do that for me now, please.
Okay, wait a minute.
Energy is carried throughout our comment section. Missing persons case is something that we cover quite a bit here on WFLA Now. Missing person cases, something that's very important to me. Thinking about all the families out there that do not have closure in regards to the person who their loved one who has gone missing. Whether it's a case that is 3 hours old, 3 days old, 3 weeks old, 3 months old, 3 years old, or 3 decades old, it doesn't matter. Missing persons cases are very important. And if we can use the power of social media to spread cases and provide families with some hope that their loved one will be found, or at the very minimum that they'll have some closure in regards to their loved one, that's something that I take very seriously. Something I try to focus on as far as my work here at WFLA. There's a lot of rumor-based, theory-based comments with hashtag HeyJB that I'm just, we're going to wait until the press conference because, folks, we're going to have answers in about, I mean, really 9 minutes from now, 8 minutes from now, really. So I understand that people are saying, "Ooh, I think that this happened," or "I believe that this happened regarding police." I see your comments, but as of right now, we're just going to try to avoid speculative comments on screen, to stay fact-based and to give police the opportunity to set the record straight in just a few minutes. Speaking of which, what we're going to do here momentarily is we are going to you're going to see a countdown roll on your screen. That countdown is just a 60-second break to allow us to go live on other platforms. So if you see that countdown, please don't be alarmed. It's just us resetting and relaunching our live stream to be live in as many places as possible. We'll look through some other comments in the meantime. People who are asking about, let's bring up audio here for a second.
And then I'll go back and get them. So they just told me it's Captain Zescaliba is going to lead off. If you would, because there are a few new faces in here, he's going to pass it off to Chief Thursas. He's going second. And then there will be a brief question and answer period. So if Captain Zescaliba, like you did the other day, is going to be the one to call on you guys. Okay. So just make sure after he recognizes you, just to give your name and affiliation so we know who you are. Okay. Appreciate it. So a couple of minutes, and we'll go to 2 minutes, and I'll go grab them. All right.
And with that, we're going to reset here. We'll be back in 60 seconds with the press conference here on WFLA Now. Stand by.
WFLA Now will begin momentarily. WFLA Now will begin momentarily. Breaking news on WFLA Now. Here's JB Buno.
A sudden press conference called by Hoover police in the Carlee Russell case. After several days without any developments, police set to release new information about the woman who claimed to be abducted in central Alabama earlier this month, only for investigators to share evidence last week suggesting an abduction never took place. Hello there, folks. JB here with you live on WFLA Now. In the WFLA Now Stream Center, now officially live across all platforms. Welcome in. Let's hit the touchscreen and take you to Birmingham, Alabama. The podium has been set up. We've been given a 2-minute warning. If you have found this live stream, don't go anywhere. We're going to be listening in here for the update from Hoover Police in central Alabama on the Carlee Russell case. For those of you unfamiliar with the Carlee Russell case, this is a young woman who called 911 claiming that a toddler was on the side of I-459 a couple of Thursdays ago. But by the time that authorities got there, there was no sign of the toddler. There was no sign of Carlee Russell. Fast forward 49 hours, Carlee Russell turns up at her parents' house claiming that she was abducted. But a subsequent investigation by Hoover police leads them to then disperse evidence to the media and to the public that just the story just doesn't add up. Carlee Russell's story doesn't exactly add up with what she claimed happened that night in Hoover, Alabama. There hasn't been much the last several days in regards to this story, but we're moments away from finding out an update. There are, without question, rumors flying about on social media in regards to this story. We are not going to be reporting rumors. We are reporting fact, and we're moments away, seconds away from getting facts in this case directly from the investigators and from the police chief and Hoover government officials who are going to be speaking on this case, because this story, Hoover, Alabama, has been on the map on social media the last several days. People wanting to know, really the last couple of weeks, people wanting to know what exactly happened that Thursday night, where Carlee Russell was over that 48 hours, and did an abduction actually take place. Let's listen in.
You guys ready? 2 minutes.
All right, so that's the official 2-minute warning. When the press conference begins, I will be, you won't see me, you won't hear from me. We're going to go to the press conference full screen after the press conference concludes, we will be breaking down what we have learned, what we know, what we still don't know, and interactively bringing you into the conversation here on WFLA Now. We have made sure that this is the most high definition, the best looking, the best quality feed that we have for you here in the Stream Center. We have multiple feeds, but this is the best one. Audio is coming through crystal clear. So after the press conference concludes, what we'll be doing again is breaking down the latest developments in this case. So again, this is live from Hoover, Alabama. Monitoring your comments, your questions here on social media. I see you joining us here on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live as well. I see the tweets coming in. You know, it's interesting. I say tweets, but are they X's now? You know, did we really need to rename Twitter? Was that necessary? You know what? Maybe we'll talk about that more at the end of this live stream. The most important pressing matter, of course, is this Carlee Russell press conference that begins here from Hoover, Alabama. Again, police officials, government officials are going to be speaking here, and our coverage continues after the press conference takes place here on WFLA Now. You can read the latest on this story on WFLA.com, WFLA app. This feed coming in from our next star sister station, WIAT CBS 42, providing us with this live feed. And again, we were given the 2-minute warning. So if you're looking for the live feed, that's going to, again, or the press conference, it will begin here momentarily. I'll be muting my microphone. I'll be back here after the press conference concludes on WFLA Now.
Good afternoon. I'm Captain Keith Suscaleba with the Hoover Police Department. We're here today to provide an update in the Carlee Russell investigation. Chief Nick Durzis will read a prepared statement that will provide an update in this case. After reading the statement, we will have time for a few questions related to the case. Keep in mind, this is still an ongoing investigation, and there are some questions we simply cannot answer at this point. With that, I'll turn it over to Chief Durzis.
Thank you, Captain. Yes.
Good afternoon. Thanks to everyone for attending again today. I want to thank the members of our department and all of law enforcement who played a role in the investigation of this case. Last Wednesday, July 19th, we held a press conference and provided you with the facts of the Carlee Russell disappearance. We told you the investigation was ongoing. We helped you determine where Carlee was during the 49 hours of her disappearance. Today, I've talked to and received a statement from Mr. Emery Anthony, attorney for Carlee Russell. Mr. Anthony has scheduled a meeting for Carlee to meet with investigators early this afternoon, but then I received an email stating that a statement was being provided by him on her behalf. Mr. Anthony asked that I read the statement in its entirety, which I will do now. My client has given me permission to make the following statement on her behalf. There was no kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th, 2023. My client did not see a baby on the side of the road. My client did not leave the Hoover area when she was identified as a missing person. My client did not have any help in this incident, but this was a single act done by herself. My client was not with anyone or any hotel with anyone during the time she was missing. My client apologizes for her actions to this community, the volunteers who were searching for her, to the Hoover Police Department and other agencies as well, as to her friends and family. We ask for your prayers for Carlee as she addresses her issues and attempts to move forward, understanding that she made a mistake in this matter. Carlee, again, ask for your forgiveness and prayers. We have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Anthony to further discuss this case. We're currently in discussions with the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office in Bessemer about possible criminal charges related to this case, and we will announce those charges when and if they are filed.
All right, with that, we'll take a few questions. As Officer Hale said, when I call on you, please state your name and your affiliation. Yes, sir.
Keith Mims, WAGG 610, 100.1 FM Summit Media. Chief, do we at this time, or does the Hoover Police Department know the whereabouts of Carlee Russell during that 49-hour period that she was supposedly missing?
Now, as I said the other day, was talking facts and everything. If I said anything today, would just be speculation. Actual facts, we do not.
Aaron Llewellyn, WBTM 13. Can you tell us what her motivation was for doing this, if you can?
I wish I could tell you. I think only Carlee knows, and maybe her attorney now. But again, the statement that we received from him does not indicate any.
For ETM WBRC, can you give us an idea of what charges you may be filing against her?
That would strictly be up to the district attorney's office.
David Lamb, CBS 42, can you update us so that there is a meeting scheduled for this afternoon with the family, or
No.
when is that meeting?
Yeah, no, not a meeting with the attorney, not the family or Carlee. We have a meeting scheduled with the attorney, and that will take place some point tomorrow.
And there is no meeting with Carlee Russell or her family at this point?
Not scheduled, no, sir.
Bria Chapman with Fox 6, what's next to close this investigation?
Well, again, we want to talk to Mr. Anthony tomorrow and see if he has any more to discuss about the case. We'll certainly be asking if we'll get an opportunity to again interview Carlee like we've wanted to since she returned.
Chief Stephen Quinn, ABC 3340.
Yes, sir.
Your reaction now, knowing that Carlee has admitted that this was made up?
Well, I'm glad that we got this. You know, we certainly laid the facts out to you guys and to the national media that had a lot of interest in this particular case. The sad thing is that again, there were so many people that were involved, took this thing very, very seriously, and again, we wanted the focus to be bringing her home. She got home. We're very excited about that. It is what it is. The facts, I think, last Wednesday pretty much showed that we knew that it was a hoax.
Lisa Crane with WBTM 13, do you know the expense you went to during this search? And if you don't have a dollar figure for us, just how big it was for you guys?
Well, it was all hands on deck, and we don't have a dollar figure yet, but we're certainly working towards getting one, and not only ours, but there'll be other agencies that had a lot of support that they gave us and had monetary expenses themselves.
Jonathan, with JLR investigates, are the parents under an investigation?
You know, as I said the other day, we were going to try to determine exactly those 49 hours. So right now, you know, anything's on the table. We still don't know what happened in those 49 hours, where she was. Did she have any help? We have no idea. You know, I read the statement from Mr. Anthony. That's all we know.
Keith Mims, WAGG 610, Summit Media. Chief, let me ask you this. What do you think prompted or provoked Carlee to do this kind of thing? And are there any kind of mental issues that the police department or the public should be concerned about, or just what?
You know, not that I'm aware of. I mean, it's, this is a very elaborate deal. I mean, when you talk about calling a 911 and being up on the interstate, again, it would all be conjecture. So really, I don't know. I was hoping that we'd have an opportunity to interview and we'd be able to ask her those questions.
Were any others involved in putting this story together for her?
Mr. Anthony, in his statement, says there was not.
Liviana Kelmy, WBRC Fox 6 News. You said that you had a meeting scheduled and it kind of switched into a statement. Did they give any type of reason that switched?
No, they did not.
Back here.
Aaron Llewellyn, WBTM 13. Just for clarification, Carlee Russell is not in custody right now.
That is correct. That is correct.
Last question with David.
David Lamb, once again. So first of all, when did you actually see this letter? And second of all, do these admissions and the content of the letter alter the investigation at all?
No, not at all. We'll continue to investigate. We're still trying to determine where she was during those 49 hours. But I am glad that we received this. It at least puts some of the social media super sleuths hopefully at rest for a little bit as far as the conjecture of what everybody thinks took place. We know that by her own admission, it didn't happen. And, we're thankful for that.
All right. Thank you guys very much.
Breaking news on WFLA Now. Here's JB Buno.
Carlee Russell admits she was never abducted, sharing a statement through her attorney that she acted alone in the abduction that wasn't, an abduction that police officials call elaborate in nature. Hello there, folks. JB here with you live on WFLA Now. You just heard it. I just heard it. This is a situation of a girl crying wolf. But why exactly a girl would cry wolf? Why exactly is really the number one question that has been in my mind. I'm sure it's been in your mind as well. If there was this, the word that was used there was elaborate, an elaborate, staged abduction. Why exactly did you do that? What are the reasons as to why? We've had conversations here on this live stream previously on this case, whether or not there was a mental health component to this case, whether or not we had somebody who was suffering from some sort of ordeal that us as reporters and you as news consumers, people that just didn't know what was really going on in that case. However, we find out more and more details about this story as to whether or not we're finding out more details about this story. And you know what? I'm going to let you, our commenters, voice what you think in regards to this story. I want to bring in, just walking in here, our own Jack Royer. Hey there, Jack. How are you?
I'm good, JB. I was just watching your stream and I couldn't join you last week, but I thought I would join you just to talk about this if you want some context. I worked in Birmingham and I'm from there, and I know the Hoover Police Chief fairly well. And I think we're all sort of trying to figure out what to make of what we just learned, what we heard from him. And, just some context here. He is a career law enforcement officer. He is a longtime chief of police at Hoover. He has been very methodical in his approach to this case. I thought it was very interesting to watch last week how he sort of indicated, look, we weren't going to talk about this until her parents started talking about this, and the way they've chosen to release information to the media. And in some cases, I think very fascinating how he has laid out the facts as he knew them, withheld some of the things he may have known until the reporter asked a certain question. But I found it very fascinating, and it's worth noting that there are district attorneys in Jefferson County. There is a cutoff district in Jefferson County that works with the Bessemer area. She was probably, I would guess, probably 5 to 7 miles from that area. The district attorney there has, obviously, as he noted, the discretion here on whether or not to charge Carlee Russell. I heard Nick Durzis say that he will announce charges if and when they are filed. It's anybody's guess right now whether or not that will happen, but I was glad to hear a reporter ask the question that I've personally been wondering: how much did this cost?
Yeah.
What resources were expended? Because you think about, I believe last week he said they had to fly a helicopter, they had drone teams, surely detectives working overtime. I'm guessing this will be a figure when you total up all the agencies, all the personnel, and all the equipment. I mean, it costs minimum $1,000 an hour to fly a helicopter anywhere.
Jack, there's nothing right. There's nothing that is funny about this.
No.
The word hoax has been tossed about. There's nothing funny about this
For anybody.
or anybody.
No.
There's no games that should be played when it comes to missing persons cases. I shared this on stream. Can you think of what it must have been like for a parent of an actual missing person to see this case get so much media attention and then find out that it was not true, that the story that was told that was just not true?
And why did it get media attention? It's because often there is criticism of the media, I'm using that term very loosely, that we don't cover missing persons cases enough. Obviously, that's something you have championed and made a huge difference in, and our audience has made a huge difference in on WFLA Now. But I thought about the detectives who must have been putting aside other work they are doing, because just as every police department across the country is, they are stretched thin some weeks in their communities with what they have to investigate, what they have to, they always say, we hear the term, oh, it's an ongoing investigation. That's not a throwaway line. If anybody out there is in law enforcement, that these things take weeks and weeks and really running to ground quite a bit of information, and all of the information that was available here. You're showing some of this 911 call right now. I'm just thinking about all of the people, but also aside from the dollar amount, aside from the investigators who had to maybe leave other assignments to go pursue this, all of the volunteers. My fiance is a news anchor at the Next Star station in Birmingham, Alabama. And so
Mhm.
I was up there visiting her the weekend this was all going on. And I'm watching their local news, seeing all these volunteers who've come out and they're walking along the interstate. They're looking through the woods. And the whole time I'm thinking that is not an easy place to search for
No.
someone. I don't know if you're familiar with, I know you worked in Alabama, not in
Yeah,
Birmingham,
and
but
I share with our audience. I've driven on I-459 a couple of times,
Yeah.
but not enough to say, oh, I know this exit.
right.
Familiar with the area,
The
though.
spot where she is heavily wooded on both sides of the interstate. The side where she was parked, to my knowledge, where she was, it's just woods. And when I heard Nick Durz's last week describing, she says there was a fence and then a truck, I'm thinking, where would there be a semi truck
In a neighborhood.
where would there be no witnesses to such a thing? Where is this chain link fence, or however he described it last week? And it started to, I'm starting to think, I don't know how this is even possible if I was going to perpetrate such a horrible crime. I don't know how I would do it in that location. But I was watching the news, seeing all these volunteers who came out to search for this person. And I just hope through all this, and this is really what I wanted to say, I hope people don't lose faith in the efforts to make headway on so many cases that need attention because of
They
this.
won't.
I hope
They
this
won't.
doesn't
I don't.
diminish that
I
hope.
can speak. I can speak for the people that I know that have watched WFLA Now streams for a long time.
Yeah.
That there's just such a tremendous amount of goodwill in the social media community that focuses on missing persons cases. This isn't. I don't think that's going to deter any of that. It's just frustrating
Yeah.
for those who have loved ones who are missing. This is a case that received, and it really it stems from a woman sounding as if she's trying to do the right thing. Toddler on the side of the road, middle of the night, in an interstate in central Alabama. My goodness, trying to call 911. He hears a scream. All of these details makes you think, oh my goodness, this is such a goodwill, such a story of goodwill that all of a sudden takes this evil turn. Who would do something like
Right.
this? And then to find out that this didn't happen, it's going to be frustrating for people watching. It's going to be frustrating for I would imagine for Carlee Russell's family, for the neighbors, for the community, because again, we just don't have a definitive answer as to why.
No.
Why would you do something like this? It's an actual question that I'm throwing out there. Why would somebody want to do this? Is it to hear your name on social media platforms? Is it for are you trying to achieve social media fame? Is there something? I mean, she, again, going back to her Google search history, Jack, she's looking up the movie Taken. Is there something
Right.
that, I mean, we don't want to go down the speculative rabbit hole too deep, but what eludes us in this case up until this point is motive. We don't know why she would do something like this.
No, and what is going to be so fascinating to watch, the district attorney in Jefferson County is a man named Danny Carr, and there have been incidences, and as we've seen with some prosecutors in big cities, they've taken an initiative not to prosecute, certain things that they don't feel are worthy of maybe the resources. A lot of district attorneys get to have the prerogative ultimately on whether or not you charge somebody. Many legal experts would say this and would agree with me that it is not hard to get an indictment in this country, in this legal system, if you choose to do so. And certainly there is now a mountain of evidence, and it sounds like her attorney, Emory Anthony, who's a very well-known criminal defense attorney in Birmingham, Alabama, he generally, in my experience covering him, represented violent criminals and violent offenders. So I found it fascinating that I didn't hear a defense of any kind in that statement. It was an admission.
Let's really quickly, what we're going to do, because we heard it once, but I think it's really important now to hear the words in the statement and what was actually, we're going to play it back for you. But again, as a reminder, these words coming up are from Emory Anthony, the statement that was provided from Carlee Russell's attorney. And again, context, she was going to be meeting with police, with investigators today, and then backs out of that to provide a written statement instead. And this is what that written statement was back in 90 seconds on WFLA.
No kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th, 2023. My client did not see a baby on the side of the road. My client did not leave the Hoover area when she was identified as a missing person. My client did not have any help in this incident, but this was a single act done by herself. My client was not with anyone or any hotel with anyone from the time she was missing. My client apologizes for her actions to this community, the volunteers who were searching for her, to the Hoover Police Department and other agencies as well, as to her friends and family. We ask for your prayers for Carlee as she addresses her issues and attempts to move forward, understanding that she made a mistake in this matter. Carlee, again, ask for your forgiveness and prayers. We have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Anthony to further discuss this case. We're currently in discussions with the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office in Bessemer about possible criminal charges related to this case, and we will announce those charges when and if they are filed.
All right, and that is the statement that was provided. Again, through Emory Anthony, the attorney. Any? By the way, while we're talking about Emory Anthony, I was covering news in Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
You covered news in Birmingham. You know the area extremely well. Any reason why that attorney would be brought on in this case?
I could rattle off 3 people that you would want to retain if you were in a situation like this.
It's not a major metropolitan area, so it's not as if there is just you know,
This isn't New York City, and Emory Anthony is experienced. Again, I can't think of a case that of a certain variety in terms of violent offenders that he was not involved in. I mean, you know how it is. You cover these things. There are other attorneys who I talk to often who represent. You know, I can almost point at a case and go, well, I know who they're going to call. Or in some cases, I know the attorney is going to call them and say, let me take your case. I wouldn't read too much into the thought that this meeting scheduled for today was canceled, because I don't know a defense attorney who has a client who at this point especially would say, well, sure, just go get interrogated. So I would say it's a very wise thing that if you have a client, you're going to make an admission or at least provide a statement and then say, we will meet with you or I will meet with you. But Emory Anthony is a very respected criminal defense lawyer. Read into that what you will in terms of why that person is now representing this client. But to hear that there was a meeting scheduled and then backed out on, it makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Sure.
This is somebody who has just admitted to a major mistake, what she calls a major mistake in judgment, by saying that an abduction took place when in reality it didn't. It's unpredictable behavior. What she could say in a Q&A with investigators could find, look, there's potential criminal charges looming here in this case. That's a whole other component to this story. But look, as we have a large audience here, and we know that our audience, of course, here for the press conference and then here for the post-stream coverage or post-press conference coverage, let me just deliver this for a moment. Use this as an opportunity to find missing persons cases that are genuine, that really do need your shares, really do need your retweets. I did this on Twitter this past week where I said, hey, look, just give me as many cases as you can.
I saw that, yeah.
Let's retweet as many as we can. Let's not let this be the taste in our mouths, so to speak, in regards to missing persons cases, because there are so many out there that need our help. So while I have a platform here to share that, I think it's really important that we encourage people. Missing persons cases, it's a real massive problem in this country. People go missing every single day. And so many of those cases, they are just so complex with so much unknown that they don't get this amount of law enforcement attention. They just don't get this amount of law enforcement focus. And those cases, they deserve it. They deserve what Carlee Russell received and ultimately didn't need in this case. Where was Carlee?
Who knows? Listen,
she says that she says in the statement that she wasn't with anybody.
I won't.
So,
I don't know at what point we start looking at publicly available social media platforms that have things on them. I won't draw people to that here because I think you want to confirm information before you report it. But I will say that I think things that may have been shared by her will be relevant here. Things that she has said publicly, if in fact they are from her, are going to be relevant. And I just hope that the same way we're encouraging our audience not to lose faith in things that need attention, I really hope, and I know professional members of law enforcement will not be deterred by this. This is just another bump in the road in what they deal with every day. But so many questions, as you note, JB. Where was she? How did she stay hidden? They had so much data to work with, so many things providing them data. From now they've been able to examine her cell phone. They'll be able to see where she went, who she communicated with. I know crime scene investigators and homicide detectives who can, things that you think are deleted, they are able to go back and look at and find things that, like, I had a homicide detective, granted this was about 4 years ago, tell me that if you send a Snapchat, they can go find
geolocation.
that. No, they can go find what you sent for 30 days. And that helps so many crimes be solved. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. If I had to bet right now, I don't know that I could bet one way or another on whether or not Danny Carr will choose to pursue charges. Let's say he didn't because he wanted to say, what am I going to do? This happened. She was, maybe he knows stuff. I'm sure he does that we don't. Maybe she was in a state of distress of some sort mentally and needed some help. And this is something they're going to say, we're not going to choose to prosecute her for. You've got to answer for the dollar amount that we will eventually learn about, how much this costs the taxpayer and the resources and the strain on the police. Then again, if you charge her with anything, be it obstruction, misuse of the 911 system, whatever you want to pursue, there will be people who say, cut her some slack. It's going to be very fascinating in the coming days to see how far they choose to go, because they can go very far with charging something like this if they choose to. It's just going to be the DA's prerogative.
The cut her some slack.
And I'm not suggesting that, nor am I suggesting charge her. I'm just analyzing.
Look, we do not, I want to repeat this, and I'm sorry for repeating myself. We do not know if there's a mental health component to this case.
Right.
And whether or not, or if there was another scenario at play that led her down this very calculated decision-making process to where she says that she saw a toddler, she called 911 to report the missing toddler, and then just poof, vanished out of thin air, only for the entire central Alabama community to look for her, and for her to just, stroll down her street and reappear at her parents' house 49 hours later. Jack, charges are more likely than not likely in this case.
I would sure think so. Again, though, it's ultimately up to the DA. We see these cases where the police have a say. We see cases here in Florida where the police say, we're not going to choose to
add myself to the stream on there. Okay. Because I have another live in a few hours, I'm going to stop it there because it's just going to get repetitive, really, and you guys can go watch Hey JB more if you want. But I want to talk about a few things here. First of all, I want to talk about, this entire hoax act that she pulled is one of those things that it's going to take a lot for her to even get her dignity, any sort of respect, anything. It's going to take a long, long, long time. The community, I don't think people are going to sit by and they're not going to put up with just, oh, well, here, pay it back. I think people want to see a lot more because, like they said about the resources, and I couldn't imagine ever putting my parents, my friends, my boyfriend ever through such a selfish act, because that's exactly what this is. Carlee did this for selfish reasons. Whatever those selfish reasons are, I'm curious what you guys think. And where do you guys think she was in that 49 hours? I personally do not believe that she did this all by herself. You know, I personally don't. So I'm curious because you can tell what Jack over there is saying too, about certain things that Carlee has said via her social media that are almost alluding to, perhaps the truth of some of this. But I'm just honestly, I still don't even know what to say when it comes to Carlee Russell pulling such a horrific act that what I'm upset about, of course, the most, like you guys, is the fact that she literally created a fabricated bullshit story that was so ridiculous on top of it all. And to have all that manpower, all those people, and then the feeling that you guys know how it would feel if you knew that your child was possibly abducted. The one thing, like, I don't want to say anything against the parents on this one, but there's one thing that did kind of catch me a little bit, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I didn't really see all these tears rolling down the parents' faces. Even as they were out there over in Atlanta, searching, it's almost like, I don't know, like I couldn't even be doing an interview without bawling my face off through it. I don't know. I don't know. Because even when the parents did that one interview, the one that caught me the most was the mom going, yeah, believe it. Absolutely. They need to look for that abductor. I don't know. To me, when the dad kind of looked down, I was just like, yes, they're probably not buying it. But anyways, they're dogs. Okay. People searching. Carlee just didn't hover in those woods over there. And you guys, I can tell most of you guys have watched JLR, which obviously you heard at the press conference, JLR Investigates, where he took you guys through the woods, showed you the fence that was above, and and then he took you through the tunnels that take you over to that Atkins place over there, because she did not stay there. So I don't know, like, meaning I'm kind of 50-50 if she pulled it off herself or if she had help. But kind of like Deb said earlier, I don't know that I can buy the crap about her sitting there making her way, little princess, her princess butt way, without breaking a freaking fingernail or something through those woods and, hurtling over a fence. I don't know. Can you guys picture it? And why is nobody? There's 18 whole people watching right now. And you guys could at least talk right now, because other than that, I'm just going to get off then if I'm the only one talking, because I got other things, better things to do, to be honest with you. I got to get ready for a live. So if anyone wants to say anything, then speak now or forever hold your peace today on this one anyway. Jeff sent a photo. Jeff, are you talking to me through Messenger? Is that how it's going to be? What you're looking at? I don't know if everyone... Okay, so you're showing me from somebody else's live. Who's that guy? The Pascal show? I don't know about everybody else, but I'm still gonna eat Cheez-Its. What are you doing, buddy? Working your way around, freaking copying and pasting the same thing? Is that what you're doing? Anyway, I can multi-live. The woods, are as creepy as can be. Absolutely. Her story pisses me off totally. And I know it does with you guys too, because there's nothing worse than sitting there, sharing, making videos, people searching, like using their valuable resources. And like JB said, right, they have better things to do than to sit here, like even I have better things to do really than to talk about her. But in all fairness, I have no problem shaming this girl. This girl needs to be shamed. She needs to be reminded, like Joseph Morris from the Koberger case. When you play with fire and you get burnt, so sorry, and do I believe? They said that they didn't believe she had mental health issues. I don't believe she had mental health issues. Everyone has issues going on. I still think that this was a thing. I don't know if it was for her boyfriend. And what's this crap anyway? Boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, taking down your pictures and then speaking out, saying to us for people, well, like, to stop bullying her. I'm gonna keep making memes till I'm freaking done making memes about Carlee, because honestly, again, her actions produced exactly what's going on. Now, as for those, idiots that sit there and send threats or a bunch of emails to her boss and to her family members and stuff like that, that's just going beyond the scope of being a decent human being yourself, to be honest with you. I have no problem sitting here making up a meme or doing a video, like, that's my right to do that. But I'm not sitting here going over to somebody's Facebook or whatever and blasting them and telling them what, a hunk of crap the daughter is and stuff like that, which I know, you just know a lot of people are saying that, but way worse. It's a Carlee shaming. Carlee deserves to be shamed. She publicly abused a system that was meant to help people. She publicly had a lady, Angela Harris, that truly lost her daughter to a homicide, that was helping her family look for her. She should be walking that hall of shame for years to come. Honestly, I don't know how she can even show her face. Honestly, she's going to have to take off her freaking fake eyelashes, put on like a blonde haired wig or something, and try not to be seen. Because honestly, like, most people do not want to see Carlee Russell, besides maybe her family, that hopefully, because they love her, would be ashamed of what she's done. So embarrassing on the family, so humiliating. So I just can't believe that someone would go to this extreme. And for what? Hopefully I'm sure we'll hear the answers for what. And I agree. Little Puss in Boots there, hid behind her lawyer, instead of going and facing the consequences herself, right? So it's okay that you pull this crap and then you go hide behind the lawyer, so that the lawyer can speak for you. Obviously, that's the right thing to do. But obviously, a real woman would have faced her own consequences, dealt with it, because she knows that she's a big flippin' liar and a scammer and a hoaxer and just a fraud, So it really disgusts me that here she did all of this. But hey, let me just go hide behind a lawyer because, because she reap what she sows. So we're going to go. I hope she gets charged. I want her to have something on a criminal record. She deserves that. She deserves to pay the money back. Like, what? The scope of it, I'm sure, is just incomprehensible about how much time and money. Because you can tell when he was talking, well, we haven't added it up yet. Ching, 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 ching. I think charges are coming. I seen Jennifer Coffendaffer say the same thing on there. I think JB's right over here. Do you guys think that you will be charged? Yes or no? All 16 of you watching now. Oh, by the way, here's you can't really see it in this thing. The green screen's ruining it. But anyway, it's a big ice cream cone cup, even though the green screen's ruining it. Anyway. Yeah, I was actually working on a video last night for her, making a movie trailer. I was hoping actually, I was actually hoping for a little bit more today, but unfortunately we didn't get that. I was really hoping to hear why, what her reason is for doing this. Again, it's going to be very self-centered, motivated, narcissistic reasons. I mean, you guys can tell, right? That this chick is full of herself, that she's all about herself. I mean, it's pretty apparent by her pictures alone. I'm not even going to play the whole mental instability card with her, because she clearly made those decisions to steal from her work, to go buy Cheez-Its, to fabricate the story. She was clearly in a right place of mind to pull off the deception, But I would like to know, where she was. starring Liam Nielsen, exactly. But anyways, so anyway, we'll see. We'll see what's to come. I deserve she should be charged. And again, it's not funny. It's not funny, but honestly, the memes, the TikTok videos, I'm gonna laugh because those things are pretty funny, to be honest with you. Because Cheez-Its will never be the same again, at least not to any of us that have followed the case. I can't believe the stupidity of that story. I mean, it was bad enough about the Ronald McDonald freaking bald guy thing, and but then to say that she was fed cheese crackers while playing with her hair, was that wig number 1 or wig number 2? But yeah, so I'm just curious where the heck she was staying, because that the dogs would attract her. Okay, that chick left enough scent that those dogs would have found her. So she got probably into a vehicle of somebody's, because those dogs would have traced her. And I have no qualms that those dogs would have followed her scent. She ain't bright, as we can see, right? Anyways, I mean, it's kind of cool though. The JLR has been down there reporting, because it really was nice that I'm amazed he was the first one, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, to kind of show us, even though he went a little bit further down than where she actually stopped, because if you look, she stopped actually like just before that little sign there, and that other sign behind it is a little bit further past it by about 100 yards or so, maybe 75 to 100 yards. But either way, she could have exactly went that way, because there is that little trail there. You can see that there's like a dirt path there. You know what? She won't do time in prison. She won't definitely do time in prison. Well, hold on. That'd be nice, perhaps. But it would be nice to see her have a record, do some jail time, and really, that, like, I feel it's for me personally, and this is my own personal thoughts, but I feel for me personally that she should do a little bit of jail time, and I feel like she should do community services for people that are actually victims of, of true abductions. And I also think that, of course, she should pay back the money. Obviously, not in her lifetime will she ever be able to afford to pay back that amount, but her wages, because of this act that she pulled, again, you reap what you sow. You do the crime, you do the time. That she should have to pay back, whatever they deem as whatever. Because obviously, like I said, she's not going to be able to pay that back in her lifetime ever. But she definitely needs to pay back, do community services, and probably spend a good weekend in jail. And let's see how Princess likes that. Hey, dude, I'm on a live. The Dummies book cover was a Photoshop collaboration between Sunny. Anyways, yeah. So let's made me. Okay. The thing is that when I'm not prepared for it, it's just because I really hate it when my dinging goes off. It's not your fault though. It's my fault, because I have to manually go in and mute notifications so I don't hear the dumb dinging sound on a live, because it really tweaks me when I hear that sound. And I'm like, I'm literally on a live. And then it's like ding, ding, ding. But I don't realize that the time clock. I'm going to have to just freaking mute everybody until I turn them back on. Because when I'm recording and stuff like that, there's nothing worse when you're recording and a ding goes off. Because I don't know how to turn off those, like them all, if there's a way to turn it off just as in one lump sum type of thing, instead of always individually. Because sometimes out of the blue, I'll be on a live and then someone random that never messages me decides to message me. Then all of a sudden it's like, ding, ding. But anyways, so, right, I did a video, and I said something like, what did she read? Like Dummies 101 or something like that. Absolutely. I'll stop your dingy. But so anyways, so hold on. Present, stop screen. Oh, now I'm big. Hello. Okay, so I'm actually hitting the wrong button there. Share screen. Come on, you stupid screen. Is it this one? Okay, let's go over here. Okay, so this thumbnail here. I couldn't be asked to shower today, so I don't really care if I look like crap or not, to be honest with you. I don't need to hide behind a freaking pixel thing or whatever. Take me, like me or lump me, I don't care. But anyways, so yeah, so I made a comment about, about obviously her reading like Dummies 101 or whatever. And then that generated Jeff to say, he said something like, I got an idea. I think I'm going to create a book cover. So then he created that. And then I just kind of added it to the oh shit because of the car and the camera that's looking at her car that she obviously didn't realize or whatever. So yeah, I mean, this is a cute mock-up of the 101 for dummies type of thing. Very funny, very comical. I've seen you a couple times there, or maybe it's because you're sending me them anyway, one of the two things. On there, bouncing around to the different shows and whatever. Yeah, like I said, it's funny. I think I used it in my TikTok video, but I don't think it showed up. I thought TikTok videos were longer than a minute now, because I made an actually funny TikTok video about it all. But then when I was watching it, I think it stopped at your mama would be pissed. But it actually went on longer than that. It was like 2.5 minutes. Yeah, it's getting around because you're sharing it around. But it's okay, bud, because be proud of that, because that's pretty funny. It was a great thumbnail or a great piece of work that you did. Absolutely. I mean, I still laugh, especially when it says real toddler not required. But anyways, yeah, she was lying. Nothing was that. Well, that was pretty obvious as soon as that footage come out by the police on the cameras, because we getting mad props, Sonny. I just think it's funny, if people, like I said, you're sharing it around and people are using it because they deem it as funny as well or whatever, then so be it. Because again, Carlee deserves to be blasted. I don't care. Honestly, she didn't care about anybody else's feelings as she was doing all this. She conjured all this up for her own selfish reasons. That's it. There's nothing more to this besides, there is more to this, but she did it for herself. It was a self-motivated, self-absorbed abduction that she propagated and conjured up, and she even pre-planned it. That's going to come to bite her in the butt on that one, especially. It's the fact that she literally, and maybe she was, she was on a bender for 2 days. Also, she hadn't accomplished. Otherwise, why would her lawyer insist that she had no assistance? I think that she's full of crap on that whole no assistance thing. As for the drug part, I don't know about that part. Like, I haven't been reading all the different Twitters and everything. I've seen a few things with the boyfriend speaking up, stop bullying her. You know what? Pipe back down, buddy. Just go back to the fact that you blocked her, and then just keep quiet. To be honest with you, his mouth is probably better off closed than open when it comes to even uttering the word Carlee Russell. Move on. Okay, you don't need that chick in your life. Hopefully he's not the one that even helped her whatsoever. I would like to think not, but I don't think that I'd be sitting here going, stop bullying her. I'd be washing my hands of that right away. She does deserve the full brunt of the law, and I'm sorry she did not give a shit about anybody else's feelings. Again, imagine the impact of your heart if you were her parent and you found out that she was abducted. Your heart would be in your throat. You would be massively having freaking probably hysteria kicking in, probably lack of breathing because you're hyperventilating because your child is literally, how it is between a bond between kids and their parents and stuff like that. So just that impact alone, she deserves to pay the price for. You know, how could someone be so heartless, be so less, uncaring? A selfish person. That's who. Somebody that cared about their own needs and nobody else's. So I'm not going to be soft on Carlee. I'm not going to even give her the benefit of the doubt of any mental health issues. She clearly made conscious decisions to Google it ahead of time, to sit there and premeditate stealing and all that stuff, and then comes flailing, like, meaning that's not somebody that's really mentally that has issues. She probably has self-esteem issues. Do you want to classify that in mental health? She has self-esteem issues, obviously. She which really, that just boils down to it. Any of those things that like narcissism and all that and self-absorbedness, it really just all stems from insecurities, right? And that's where almost everything stems from, is people cannot handle, most people just can't be themselves. For whatever reason, they need to try to be someone else, try to please someone and do stupid things. I think we can all safely say we've done stupid things in our life, but never ever to the extent of this type of crazy. Absolutely. Funny how, yeah, pray for her. I am praying for her either. I'm praying that she gets time. I'm praying that she has to pay back. And I'm praying for her family that went through what she put them through. I ain't praying for Carlee. Carlee could suffer the consequences. I have no, I don't feel sad for this chick at all. I can't. There's no reason at all that she should have ever put anyone through what she did. So I can't feel sorry for that, I mean, I hope that eventually she repairs the damage that she did to herself, and that in time people will forget. A lot of people will forget, and there's ones like me who will never forget what somebody like this did. I might forget her name in years to come. Who knows? Probably not, because I do have a good friend named Carlee. But sorry, I don't feel sorry. That's, I don't have no time of day. If someone wants to then go boo-hoo, give her the benefit of the doubt. No, shut up, please. I don't want to hear that stuff. But you guys can think it. I don't care. But for me, I don't care about that. I don't think she deserves any sympathy, really. She literally did this for selfish reasons. I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. I'm not sure how you guys feel. I'm pretty hard ass when it comes to people lying and deceiving and stuff like that. I don't have the patience for this boo-hoo, poor me syndrome when somebody doesn't deserve it. And to me, Carlee doesn't deserve it. This is probably going to come out to be about a boyfriend issue or something like that. Something that's going to involve selfishness towards her. The fact that they're hiding behind their lawyer, and now should tell you, that they know guilt. Well, absolutely, and the lawyer, he's not going to sit there and say, yeah, hey, yeah, tell them everything. Of course not. Here, let's give them a few things and then pray for Carlee. No, let her family pray for Carlee. And everyone else, I just wish that, like I said, that she gets her just desserts and what she for what she wrongly did, right? The consequences should suit the crime. Whatever. Did I say that correct? I don't know. But anyways, and so yeah, paying back money and an apology. She owes people an apology. She literally owes, not hiding behind her lawyer, the West. You owe people an apology, Carlee. You owe that to people. You deserve to put your butt right in the public's face and apologize for what you've done. That in itself would take a lot for somebody to do, but that I can respect. I can respect somebody doing that they literally would be so embarrassed, but they would literally push that to the side in order to apologize to all the people that searched for her. Again, Anaya Blanchard's mom, Angela Harris, coming out to aid in the search, to lead the search. Meanwhile, thousands of other abduction cases are getting zero. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, this should make everybody mad. But you know what? Mad. But the thing is that we'll never, until it happens again, we'll never know until it comes out in the open that somebody else is lying about being abducted and stuff like that. Until that day, we'll just keep sharing and doing that because we believe in people's good intentions. And then I'm sorry, but there's POSs like this that make a mockery out of the whole thing, but they're not really going to take away from people's caring hearts. They're going to be ashamed of something that Carlee Russell did. But at the end of the day, people are not going to sit there and hold other cases that really need help from getting the publicity that they need. Anyways, you guys, that's all I pretty much have to say. We have a live tonight on Rex Heuermann, and I've released a video earlier, and I think Alexa's going to make it. She's having some family issues with her mother, so prayers for her, Alexa's mom, you guys. So I don't want to put out her laundry. It's nothing major, but of course it's her mother. So yeah, just prayers for her mother. And if Alexa wants to say it, then she can. But anyways, thank you, Ashley. Yeah, we're just kind of like truthologists here, right? It's like, cut the shit, we're not here to sit there and be in this little square box about, we got to say everything like politically correctly this way. Here, it's just, you know what, Carlee, like I said, cut your crap, put your face out to the public, apologize for the crap that you put people through, and, and then do a true apology that's sincere, that for me, and pay your price, of course. That for me would gain respect. Hiding behind the lawyer and then never coming to fruition to apologize properly. That even just makes people even angrier, knowing that someone does stuff like that. People want her to come to the forefront and apologize. Anyways, it was great having you guys all. I know it's, again, we don't typically do lives on this stuff and whatever. And there's, Hey JB, and there's huge other channels going on. But I appreciate the fact that sometimes people can come in here and then they can talk, and they don't have to try to fight for like a Hey JB thing or a stream that's going off that you can barely read it because everyone's just posting. The smaller channels are good for certain things, and that's the ability to be able to talk and usually see the comments for the most part. Anyways, you guys, so hopefully you'll come see us at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Pacific, and we're going to be doing, of course, Rex Heuermann, the Long Island SK, and going over the new things that have come out with that. And what else? Yeah, that's about it. Anyways, I'm going to go make dinner for my husband. Love you guys. Have a great night. Take care. See you later. Bye. And I guess looking for my outro. Bye, guys. This is Sunny Justice and Aspen Connor from It's a Crime and Shame, wishing you all a good night.